I'm also thrilled to have both my children here in the audience. It is their first time to Pittsburgh. The more I've spent time in the city, the more I've come to really love it, and it is awesome. It is great to have them here to experience it along with me. They were really excited to come, especially when they heard that they get to take Friday off school. Of course, that excitement died down a little bit when they realized they'd have to spend Saturday morning with 500 teachers in the room. The world sure seems to have changed since I spoke to you 12 months ago. As a profession, as Pennsylvanians, as Americans, as members of a global society that is more interconnected than ever before, we are facing some major challenges. Whether you work with high school seniors or kindergarten students, the world our students are graduating out into is riddled with problems that our generation has created. It is our ethical responsibility to give the next generation the problem-solving skills they will need to navigate that world. Maggie McDonnell is a teacher in a tiny village in the Canadian Arctic. When she started teaching there, her high school students faced high drug and alcohol abuse rates, all too frequent sexual abuse, poverty, and lack of employment prospects. 2 months ago, Maggie was named this year's Global Teacher Prize recipient for the way she's empowering students and using community building to overcome those problems. When students, colleagues, members of her community would come to Maggie and complain about the problems that they faced, she would simply say to them, "Don't give me problems, give me solutions." This is what I want to talk to you about today. We all acknowledge that we face problems. Problems in our schools, problems in our government, problems in our environment. There's a lot of problems in our society. Those problems are going to be there for our children. Our next generation will need to be global citizens who are empowered to do something about those problems that they face. They'll need problem-solving skills to make the world better. So let's talk about solutions. We live in a time when there's unprecedented opportunity to connect, collaborate, and innovate. Technology gives us the ability to bring experts and passionate individuals into our schools in real time for free via video conferencing. Our learning is no longer limited to the people and resources in our immediate area. The entirety of human knowledge now fits into our pocket, and every other person on the planet with an internet connection and a device is a potential collaborator. So much of the conflict in our world stems from fear and misunderstanding of those who are different than us. As teachers, as educators, we know that education is the solution. Allowing our youngsters to communicate, learn, and build relationships with those that are very different from them builds empathy. There is no better gift that we could give our students than empathy. According to Forbes and Entrepreneur magazines, and a ton of neuroscience research, the character trait that is most closely linked with success in life is empathy. If we're able to give our youngsters practice in developing emotional intelligence and relationship building, we'll be giving them the keys to future success. In my few months as Teacher of the Year, I've had the opportunity to learn from teachers who are doing exactly this with their students. Joe Martin is an instructional coach in the East Stroudsburg Area School District. While his students were excelling at using new technologies to navigate the world around them, many older members of the community were struggling to know how to use mobile devices and social media to connect with friends and family. When his students said they wanted to help seniors overcome those struggles, Joe and the others in his department developed a program in which members of the community are invited into the school once per month. Students help community members learn to use their devices and use social media to stay in touch. They help them learn the basics of the digital world that we're in right now. Most importantly, though, the students at East Stroudsburg are learning the importance of using their knowledge to help others. Just across the river from us here in Fox Chapel, Mari Cooper is developing a program in which her orchestra students will be spreading musical beauty to those who might otherwise not get to experience it. In addition to the concerts and customary venues that they normally play, her students will be playing in homeless shelters and other non-traditional locations. Her students will be learning the power of using their gifts to spread joy to others. In the central part of the state, Jeff Remington His students helped provide a hands-on science lab to a school in Haiti, one of the most impoverished locations on the planet. Over time, the students in both locations developed a relationship, and Jeff's students began teaching the Haitian children via video conferencing how to use that lab to learn scientific concepts. I'm sure all of the students got better at understanding science, but the capacity to understand those who are very different than you is what will last the longest and have the greatest impact. I could tell dozens more stories of teachers who are providing children the opportunities to develop the empathy, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills needed to identify and solve problems in their communities. Within Pennsylvania and around the world, I've come across many incredible examples. Unfortunately, most teachers who try to develop programs and lessons like this are swimming upstream against a system that promotes standardization over innovation. To help our students to develop into problem solvers, we must model creativity for them in how we design our lessons, show them how to learn from their mistakes, and give them the autonomy to pursue learning about topics that they are most passionate about. Yet we are constantly being told that our primary job as educators is to prepare students for a test. It is not. Those voices cannot change what we, as educators, know in our being. None of us chose this profession to merely be a content delivery system. We knew that being a teacher meant so much more. We chose to be teachers to improve students' lives, not to improve their standardized test scores. This is why our advocacy and teacher voice are so important. It's why we're here at the House of Delegates, fighting for our students, our profession, and for an education system that will develop our next generation of critical thinking problem solvers. I've never done very well with the Serenity Prayer. Instead of accepting the things I cannot change, I tend to try and change the things I cannot accept. I believe in the collective power of 180,000 Pennsylvania teachers, 3.1 million American teachers, and millions more around the globe, to bring about positive change, if we demand what we know is best for our students. Nobody understands the practical implications of education policy better than us, the educators who are charged with executing it. This is why, in addition to being an active and engaged member of PSEA, NEA, and my local, I'm proud to serve as a member of the governing board for the Pennsylvania Teachers Advisory Committee, which is working to give teachers more input into educational policy discussions. In order to have an education system that provides opportunity for every one of our students, there must be a pipeline connecting decision makers to the narratives from our classrooms. Change starts with us. Collectively, we will continue to fight for better policies, but we have great power when it's just us and our students in our classrooms. Each of us can model empathy for our students, create opportunities to listen to your students more, hear them, help to amplify their voices. Teaching all the content in the world won't matter if our students don't feel like they're being heard. The better we understand our students, the better we can help them understand and impact the world around them. We must create transformational educational experiences for our students. The beauty of transformation is that after you go through it, you can't go back. For education to truly fulfill its purpose, it must include amazing, emotional moments that alter those experiencing them in meaningful ways. We can do this by modeling the risk-taking we wish to see in our students. Try an activity or lesson that you've never done before. Whether it works or not, talk to students afterwards and get their feedback. Don't allow yourself to give up after one failed attempt at innovation. We would never accept that from our students. If we come together as a profession to share our best with each other, teach with the growth mindset that we wish to see in our children, and continue the wave of civic engagement that has arisen over this past year, we can shape our system into one in which our next generation of problem solvers has the potential to thrive. If we each commit to empowering our students to be architects of their own future, we will lay the groundwork for future generations to overcome the significant challenges they face. I truly believe that the solution to every one of the world's problems lies locked inside our students' passions. As educators, we can give them the keys to unlock them. Thank you very much.